right, second. How is it going, guys? Drew Peacock here, back with another video. And if you didn't see yesterday's video, we went ahead and changed the rear gears in the Mustang. We went from a 355 to a 410, and the results were amazing. You guys got to go watch that video if you haven't seen it yet, because this video might not make complete sense. I mean, I guess it still will, but either way, go watch that video. If you guys have been a long-term subscriber, you guys know that this car's biggest issue is traction, and today I'm trying to resolve that by a two-step plan. I guess a three-step plan. But today we're doing step one. And this is Drew Peacock from the future, narrating over the dummy dum-dum on screen who thought he was a genius. He is not a genius. He is a clown. Look at him speak, and his voice isn't even being heard because future Drew has come back to stop him from doing his stupid plan. I had a dumb idea. I thought it would work. It didn't work. I ended up like redoing it and pretty much just guessing and checking until I just figured, let's just throw big slicks on this car. That's pretty much what happened here. So, I'll throw in some clips of what my dumb idea was, and it did work a little bit, but ultimately, I chopped out a lot of me wasting your guys' time, and you can thank me for that by leaving a little like down below. Anyways, I do chop up the car, and we throw on some big slicks, so stick around. Rear is sitting pretty too, but my exhaust is coming into contact with my rear end. It's coming into contact with my axles. So that little thing right there might give me just an extra 3/8 to a ½ inch of space, which will allow this to have a little bit more travel, a little bit more cushion, and a little bit more squat. It's just gonna bump it up just a little bit. This thing claims it's a 1-inch riser. It is not a 1-inch riser. It definitely was a 1-inch riser. You could barely notice, but it was just enough to clear the front. So hopefully it'll help us in the rear. Now, like I said, this is just step one. Step two is going to be repairing my bead locks, which is actually in the trunk right now. Hopefully it is repaired. We're gonna go ahead and test that probably tomorrow. Definitely did not happen. An even taller tire, an even bigger tire to make sure that this thing has plenty of grip, and then we should be able to pop wheelies. Hopefully, that'd be amazing. Imagine we're popping wheelies doing 60 rolls. That would be absolutely insane. But no, all jokes aside, we're just trying to get this car to put its power to the floor, and if we can do it, then we can turn it up eventually. Anyways, let's get started. All right, car's up in the air. Everything is supported, so it's literally 2 bolts. It's just my shock bolts, and everything lowers down nice and easy. So now let's take you, pretty little Cobra Jet spring, and let's waste the next 3 days of my life. Our part, here she is, and let's make it fit. All right, here we go. One side done. Trust me, I'm surprised too I didn't kill myself. Placeholder just to get it in the car. After that, the weight of the vehicle keeps it on. Totally working right now. Didn't just press record for the last 5 seconds of me putting in 1 bolt. Totally working, don't mind me. All right, I got it all put back together. I haven't seen how it looks on the floor yet. You're still lucky, Drew. You have optimism pumping through your veins. Just wait. Let's go ahead and slowly lower it down. All right, yeah, the suspension definitely isn't settled yet because I could fist my shit. So let me let me pull it out and go around the block really quick. So, got a little bit of an issue. Okay, this side isn't too bad. Let me get on my flashlight. This side isn't too bad. Okay, isn't too bad, bro. We could see your shocks through your wheel gap. You've become the very thing you make fun of. Now it's got. Oh God, that's a bit much. Okay. The other side. Take a look at the other side real quick. Similar situation. I don't know why the rears went up a lot higher than the fronts. The fronts barely made a difference, but the rears are stupid high. All right, guys, it is the next day, and as I was driving home last night, I did do a couple test pulls, and it did seem to help it a teeny tiny bit. AKA, it didn't help it at all. I'm just trying to convince myself that I'm not an idiot, even though I am. Put the largest tire possible on this car as it currently sits. I'm saying quit the games, quit messing around, let's cut to the chase, okay? I want this thing to hook. It ain't winning races if it ain't hooking. So we're gonna go get the largest tire possible. Right now this is a 325 and we're going to a 315, so we're a little smaller. And I know you're saying, well, Drew, you just lied to us. You just told us we were gonna go bigger. We're going a lot taller. So this is a 28-inch tall diameter right here, 28 inches. We're going to 30, so it's gonna fill in all this gap and it should be okay. Now, I did my research, and for that tire to fit, you need to be at stock ride height or taller, and I'm thinking we are. I also did research into what springs I have, which are Cobra Jet springs, but there's two different types. There's a lowering version type, and then there's an older version type, which is like the super tall ride height one. We obviously have the lowering version type because it looks decent without the little spacers in there. So I'm hoping with the spacers it's perfect, but we might need to trim the spacers or find a better alternative because we need that stock ride height or else we're gonna rub horribly. Anyways, let's go. All right, so we just got to my parents' house. I'm gonna yank these off really quickly and then we're gonna head out. We'll get a quick before and after. I am going to keep these tires just in case the other ones don't work out. I'm gonna need something to toss on, so nice little before. I mean, we could see the wheel gap. It seems like it's less than yesterday. Maybe not, but yeah, we'll toss these in the van real quick. All right, the tire shop took a while, but we're back. Here's my old tires, and one thing I did notice is, if you look, this tire's not a great example of it, but the edges are actually worn more than the middle, which is a clear sign of underinflation. This one, you can see it a bit better. It's clear as hell in person. Let me go get the new tires. They look massive. If you thought these looked massive, the other ones look crazier. And here's the new one, the 315/6015 ET Street Radial Pro. So the major difference is the tread. Look at that. That's all I get. 2 slits across the whole thing. Just a couple little zigzags of slits. This one has grooves that follow throughout the whole thing. So this one is actually street legal. This one is not. But has that ever stopped anyone? Is my whole car street legal? No. So definitely can't drive these in any rain. So I'll have to be careful. But I've had these on the car before, just in a 275/60. This is a lot bigger. It's a lot taller. Let me toss these on and let's see how it looks. Hopefully they fit. I honestly don't know if it's gonna fit, but there's only one way to find out. Please, God, have mercy. Let this thing fit. Well, I mean, it's on. It's definitely on. I mean, dude, look at how close it is. It's not on the floor obviously yet, but it is close. Oh my God, it looks great though. I mean, let me get the other side on and we'll lower her down. All right, let's lower her down. Ooh. Oh my God, dude. It's fucking massive. Holy shit. Okay, clearance looks pretty good, but I mean, it's close. It's... Holy shit. All right, let me check the air pressure and then let's go for a drive. I haven't moved it yet, but dude, this angle, the rake on it, it's ridiculous. So I'm hoping the suspension will settle because that thing looks like it's damn near touching the floor. I can't drive like that. If it does end up staying like that, I'm gonna have to either remove the spacers or chop them. I mean, dude, that's... Oh, all right, let's try driving it. So, I mean, I have to do something because I'm driving around and my headlights are pointed at the floor. Obviously, I can adjust them, but that just goes to show how much it's actually changed it. Like, I can't see anything. So, not a good sign for the spacers. I definitely have to figure something out. I'm just going around the block, letting the suspension kind of settle, make sure it's not rubbing, and then I'm gonna see what the best course of action is because I mean, dude, this is insane. My front bumper is not gonna be happy if I leave it like this. So let's go back to the house. Okay, so after some thinking, I'm just gonna go ahead and remove the spacers. I think that's my best bet. Honestly, it's sitting a little too tall right now, especially for my front end. I'm gonna remove the spacers, and if it's still too low, then I'm going to just chop the spacers in half or figure something else out. We need to make this work or else I'm screwed. So you guys hang out with the puppy and I'll get to work. Here, Orion, keep him company. Here. Babysit them. All right, so we have some issues. The tire still isn't quite fitting. We took out the spacers. I'm thinking about putting back in the spacers, but the problem with that option is that my front bumper just sits too low because of the rake of the vehicle. The rear end would be kicked up, which would tilter the front end down low. After a night of sleeping blissfully and dreaming of gapping more Hellcats, I figured I gotta do what I gotta do to get these tires to fit, and boy, if that means I gotta cut up this car like the dude stealing the catalytic converters at 3 a.m., then I'm gonna do it. All right, so here's how it's looking right now. I just slotted all of the pieces that were sticking out and I just tapped them away with a mallet, and then painted over them, so that way we don't have to worry about rust or anything like that. Same with all this back here. It was rubbing on the passenger side really bad back here, so slotted it and just gently tapped it all away, and we have plenty of clearance there now. The old tires were rubbing a little bit up there, so we did the same thing, just tapped it away a little bit. That's only really rubbing on driveways and stuff, so I'm not too worried about that. And then up here, I didn't think that this was gonna rub, but I just did it anyways. I just wanted to make sure. So once again, slotted it and then just tapped it away. It should be fine. I mean, the car is already chopped underneath the fenders a little bit, so we should be okay. This should be good. I also chopped out the bumper connection right here because it was touching, so you could see where it used to be. It was touching right here really bad. I chopped it. We have a connection still down here, so it's still on there, it's still connected, it's still secure, and then it has clips throughout the whole thing. So if this is a permanent fix, I will probably bolt this upwards, so we don't have to worry about that. I'll just figure out a way to get that to go up there and just bolt it, and then that will be good. But it's not going to come off. We have this connection down here, so even if it moves a little bit, I'm cool with that, just as long as it stays secured. So let's toss the wheel back on, and I think we have a winner right here. We'll go test it right now. All right, we're gonna test out a 60 roll. 60 roll with the new tires is right at about 43, 42. Yeah, we rubbed, and behind us I saw a cloud of smoke. That's not good. I mean, if it's just rubbing on plastic, that's one thing. But if it's rubbing on metal, which it didn't feel like it because we would have slowed down. But if it's rubbing on metal, then that's really bad. Fuck. It's never easy. It's never easy. Alright, well, we'll let the car settle down, and we'll try one more in a minute. All right, actually really quick, I'm gonna try another third gear. We're on the asphalt, which is known to not help me with traction, and I'm gonna do it at my peak RPM, which is like 4,500. I don't know where that's gonna set me miles per hour, but we're gonna just try it in a second. Oh, after this little hill. So I'm gonna see where it sets me. 4,500, 68 miles per hour, just a quick little hit. It hooks. It hooks. I'll take a little rubbing for some hooking. I'll take a little rubby for some hooky. These tires are great. That's why I wanted these. It's like, I know with these tires, I'm gonna hook. The question is, and I'd be blown away, I'm telling you, blown out of the water, do we hook in second? If we do, holy fuck. Like, yeah, quick one. All right, second. It kinda hooks in second. Whoa. Okay, so it's gripping. It's trying to hook in second. Almost does. It like you felt it. It fucking womped us up, and then I felt wheel hop, which is usually a sign we're gonna break an axle. So I wouldn't be surprised if we get stranded one day, mammy. Anyways, I let out of it, got back in it, and the car hooked and booked in second. So wow. On the asphalt too. What I know I don't hook best on, these tires are magical. I got unicorn skin for tires. All right, if it opens up and I see an opportunity, maybe I'll try another second gear hit, but I might snap an axle, so we'll see. Holy crap. All right, it's been a couple days, but I got it to work. I've been driving it and it hooks and it books. This setup is absolutely insane. I see why a lot of people don't run it, because you do got to chop a lot of the car out, but if you have a wide body kit or if you have flares, it works perfectly, and it is like a 10 out of 10. Would recommend. Let me show you guys how it's sitting right now. Just take a look at this. Take a look at that. Oh my god, look at that rake right there. Look at how it's leaning. It looks nice, it looks aggressive. It's kicked up in the rear. Look at that slick. Oh my god. I said I bought the whole wheel well. I'm gonna use the whole wheel well. It is super close, but it doesn't rub. I know, impressive. Doesn't rub. If you look at the tire, there's not really any wear marks on it. The only place it was rubbing was there was a bolt holding on the side skirt in here, and it squatted and rubbed in there, and it actually left a bit of a groove. You could see it right there. Let me get closer to it. There you go. You can see the groove. That's just now a nice little water, a little drainage area right there, a little groove, some tread. Ain't nothing wrong with that. But dude, it is sitting up so high, but like it has to. This is as low as it can be with a 30-inch tall drag slick. Like it's just like it's a drag car, you know? It's a full-on drag car at this point, and it's so thick. It's so incredibly thick. Also on this side, not rubbing. It is really close right here, and I might trim a little bit of this off, but it's not rubbing. It's not rubbing at all. Not under squatting or anything like that. You can see the tire, not really any marks on it. So if it is rubbing, it's negligible, but it is hooking. And honestly, I probably didn't have to do the 410 gears to get second gear to hook. I just had to do this, but why not do both and get the best of both worlds? What a stressful week it has been. I did not think we were going to be able to get it to work. I looked up on forums, and some people had run the setup before, but they said they just preferred the 275 for the track because the tracks are prepped. You don't need a 315 like this. But for a street setup, for something that isn't going to be on a prepped track, I think this is the best setup. The ET Street R is still a great tire, but there's a reason why people use the Radial Pro at the track, and if they're putting down big numbers. It's a great tire. It is so forgiving. It's so amazing. You could actually see it's wrinkling a little bit, or it has like little, I want to say those are like wrinkle marks. You could see it all the way around. I've had a tire do that in the past, but it was a long time ago, and this one did it once it started hooking in like the second or third gear. I've only done a couple pulls on these tires, and it's already got those marks. If anyone can explain what these are, go ahead and let me know down below. It's not grease or anything. You can't wipe them off. It looks literally like the tire flexed, and those are just marks left into it. I mean, with a sidewall that massive, I hope it's flexing. I hope it's doing its job. So I'm gonna say those are wrinkles. Let me know down below if you're a tire expert. Is that just moisture? It doesn't seem like it though, because you can't wipe it off. So I don't know. They've been like that for a couple days. But yeah, I'm super happy with how the car's sitting. If we go and do another little walk around, it's sitting super aggressive. Looks crazy. It's menacing. It looks like the Cobra Jet car with the giant slick in the rear. It's all caked up too, and then the front's nice and low to the floor, and it doesn't really scrape either. I was worried that we were going to be scraping on everything, but it's honestly manageable. I haven't scraped going in and out of this driveway, and I don't really scrape going in and out of my own driveway, so I think it's okay. I think this is a winning setup right here. The only irony behind everything is if I do go for more power, I might need to gear down the rear end again, but I guess we'll just see when the time comes. These tires are hooking like crazy, so I don't know. This might be just the ultimate tire out there, but we made them fit. We got 30-inch slicks to fit on an old Mustang. I'm happy. I was very stressed, but we made it work. Thank you guys. I also did have to take off the little splats back here just because it was just a little bit too close. So no more splats. You just see all tire in the rear. Hopefully the camera's picking it up. The lighting is not the best. It is getting dark, but it's just all meat. Anyways, guys, hopefully you did enjoy this video. If you did, please let me know down below. I'm super happy with the Mustang. The Supra motor should be here very shortly, and the Honda motor is out getting some stuff installed on it. So he'll be back very shortly. I hope you guys are excited. If you are, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you can flock the videos with everyone else. And until next video, peace.